It's time for story time with Doug Tabbitt.
Ooh.
We cover a lot of news topics on here, but sometimes it's just nice to reflect on things that happen in the car business. And barn finds are, of course, all the rage. People love seeing stories of Ferraris, long-lost Ferraris or Lamborghinis discovered in barns. And, you know, it's like the, what's that show where people go on? It's like the Cracker Barrel show where they bring their watches and, oh, my gosh.
Oh, Antiques Roadshow.
Yes,
Antiques
Roadshow, yeah.
The Cracker Barrel.
They're not eating pancakes,
we got there.
but
we got there.
But there is a less glamorous side to barn finds. For all the ones that you see on TV or Facebook that go viral, there's a whole bunch of just dilapidated cars rotting away in barns that unfortunately are not worth anything.
Well, like, one thing I've always wondered is, are there any left?
Yes.
In the internet age where everybody's searching everybody's grandma's barn looking for a Hemi Cuda that's one of 50 with this option made on a Thursday, like, I can't believe they exist anymore.
Well, they're changing.
Okay.
Because barn finds used to be the one plum crazy Hemi Cuda with a hood mounted tack that has 13 miles on it. And now it's that 1989 Toyota Supra.
Oh, yeah.
So they're evolving as the hoarders and neglectors evolve, as parents are from a different generation and stuck away project cars that they swore they'd finish.
I got a buddy of mine that keeps telling me he wants a project car. I was like, bro, no, you're not going to finish it. No,
Nobody.
Okay. Why don't you buy a car you can drive?
A project car. But a lot of it, too, is that it takes time for those cars to come out. A lot of them are known, but they're never brought into the public light because they don't transact. They're kept a secret for a long time. Somebody may know about a car for 20 years before it's a quote-unquote barn find, because then it's finally brought out. Ed Bullion recently, with the help of the private detective guy, discovered the Lamborghini Diablo VS.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was essentially a barn find. That was hidden away. Nobody knew where that was. I was searching for it for a while. And yeah, so that's a 1997, 8, I think it was. That's a barn find.
I guess so.
It's our era barn finds.
Hanger find or whatever.
But in searching for these barn finds, I've found a couple pretty cool ones, but I found some really, really not cool ones.
No, I think that works. Just they're not. Walk away. Turn around.
They are found, but I wish I didn't find them. And in the last couple months, we've uncovered some things we kind of wish we didn't. I was called out to a collection of about 10 cars in eastern Ohio.
Any GT3s?
There were some MG 1500s, which are nice, but nothing super collectible. Some other random cars and I think it was a 57 T-Bird. And they had been there for decades, as most of them are. And sometimes that's a good thing because you go, well, shoot, they're going to be really, really low miles. And even though they might need a restoration, somebody out there wants a car that's been tucked away for 50 years and not driven, because that's just what people want. You go to some of these crazy auctions, and a barn find brings almost as much as a pristine example because people are buying the story.
Yes.
And people like the process of spending money on a restoration. I don't know why.
Well, and I think there's some draw to being able to do the restoration yourself and make decisions and make sure it's done to your taste. You're not trusting some other guy to not cut corners.
It's something to do. Just or like redecorating the house or whatever women like to do. I don't know. What are they even doing there?
The women, I don't understand them.
So I went out there, and the T-Bird was the nicest car there, which wasn't saying much. The unfortunate part was that it needed everything done. Full restoration. It was rusty underneath. It hadn't, ran when parked, but it also wasn't low miles. It was 25, 35, whatever, 1,000 miles. I could see 2 to 3 layers of paint, all in different colors.
Ooh,
so it wasn't even a survivor car. It was just straight up a car that needed a restoration. Yeah. And a really, really good T-Bird of that era is 30 to 35 grand. A bananas award-winning restoration car, fresh restoration, would be, I don't know, 80 grand maybe.
So not worth it to
not worth it to restore.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody wanted the project because usually people who restore cars recognize that they're not going to get their money back. So it's like, okay, well, that one's maybe a little bit interesting, but not to me. We go out into the barn where all the rest of the cars were. The lady, and her sentiments were accurate. My husband bought 2 MG 1500s. One of them was a restoration project. The other was a parts car. I'm not sure which one is which.
Ooh, well, okay, so let's be honest. If you're buying a parts car for a restoration project, they're both parts cars.
No, I would disagree because like one is salvageable. The other only has things which are salvageable or usable.
I guess, but they're both rough.
They were both so rusted through. I went into this barn. It was a dirt floor. First problem.
Yikes.
And the groundhogs had made such a mess of it that we had to like watch where we stepped. It was landmines in the sense of like holes, caves that we would fall into. And the bodies were rusted through. I couldn't tell which one was supposed to be a parts car, and I wasn't even sure if either of them were usable as parts cars at this point. There was a couple Chryslers that I didn't know what they were, and there was a Jaguar XKSS replica,
okay,
which was actually in the best condition because it was fiberglass.
Yeah. Okay.
So the body was okay. And, you know, she's like, well, somebody wants them. You know, the old there's an ass for every seat mentality. I was like, I honestly think you're going to have to pay somebody to take these away. Like, I'm not even sure they're worth scrap. Maybe the Chryslers were.
Yeah.
Maybe. And maybe the T-Bird. But I'm thinking about it going, I'm 40 now. I arguably have more money than time. And I think about project cars as my million-mile Ferrari 456 GT is rotting now a year and a half into trying to service it, going, when you commit to one of these cars, you're not just committing to a car. You are committing to giving a portion of your limited time left on this earth to this car. And I'm at a point in life where I love saying no. Somebody wants me to join a committee. No. Somebody wants me to volunteer. No. I am fully committed to what I have already. And anything that I am committing to comes at the expense of something else at this point in my life. So to buy a car like that to me is, I wouldn't take it if you gave it to me with the money to restore it, because I'm going, that's time.
Yeah.
It's time off of my life. Now, if you find enjoyment in that, awesome.
Well, I think that's a different story, because that brings you something. It's not just a draw on you. It brings you joy, brings you satisfaction, whatever. That's what you want, fine, like you said. But not everybody is that way.
Also, the type of car that is, like those people are dying off. So the number of people that want to restore those types of cars is almost none. The next one we went out to look at, we had a good success with the Porsche 993 that was bought off of a widow, and she had it for a number of years. That one was only parked for like 2 years, and it was actually in quite good condition. It just had a tiny bit of interior mold that was easily treatable, and the car ran and was fine. It needed catch-up service, and it was leaky and stuff like that, but it was like a good car. So that was
just
our
red.
win.
Oh, so sad it was red.
Sorry, Tyler.
God, Doug, can't you find better color? No,
sorry. But then the next day we went out to look at a Porsche 996 that we thought was just like, okay, well, it was a very, very low mile car.
Hold on a second, Doug.
Yes, 996s are coming into the realm of barn finds.
Are you kidding me?
This one was.
Oh, my God.
It was a 996 Cabriolet, first strike.
Oh, yes.
Gray interior, second strike.
No. Plus, we're back up to we're net zero.
Tiptronic.
Oh, no, -1.
Third and fourth strike. But it had like 20,000 miles on it and a factory hardtop. So we go out to this garage thinking all we're doing is just picking up a 996. We put the key in and drive it back to our shop.
Yeah.
The car was stored with the top down.
Oh.
Which is not great for tops.
Yeah, because
the servos.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it'll get like creasy and full and like the things freeze up. Yikes.
Yeah. This car had more mold than an abandoned cheese factory.
How?
I don't know. It was disgusting. We walked up to it and just turned around and walked away and told the guy, we're not touching this car. He's like, well, it can be clean. Not by us.
Yikes.
I recommend that you find, it was covering the seats, the dash, the interior was as fuzzy as a friggin' beanie baby.
Oh, God. How?
It was disgusting.
Was it stored in like a leaky
It was just,
building?
I don't think it was leaky. And he said, I don't have any leaks in here. I'm like, I walk in here and I smell the must. Like it's just a damp building.
Oh.
It just was not stored well at all.
Yikes.
And I'm
Big
like,
yikes.
It's already a tip 996 cab. And it
literally
is
the most undesirable 996. You practically need to pay somebody $15,000 to take that car away from you.
Okay, now. Don't be a snob just because you have a rare green manual C2 coupe.
Oh,
whatever. It's just unfortunate that this is what's happening. So that one we walked away from. So multiple strikes. And then I went out again, Eastern Ohio, to look at a 59 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Now that is one of the boomer cars that is kind of surviving because they're just absolutely
classy.
So beautiful. And it was sent by the person who passed away to a storage facility, and it was nice when it was sent there. But the storage facility was an outdoor dirt floor shed.
Whoa.
And it had sunken into the ground.
Oh, no.
And was likely completely rusty underneath. And it was just very, very sad because in order to get to it, we were avoiding yellow jackets' nests and, climbing over dirt and other tools and stuff. And it just it was a sad picture of, honestly, all of these were a picture of kind of the fleeting nature of life and the things upon which we place value. And we're seeing the diminution of value of...
That's a big word, Doug.
I don't know if I used it right, but homeschooler here. I just say it confidently. And of cars from the 40s, 50s, and 60s as that generation is dying off. And so these barn finds, even if they're cared for, becoming less and less valuable. And it was just kind of like this, I had this philosophical moment where we're stuck in this in-between of the circle of life. I'm at the point where I'm starting to collect cars, and the cars that we love are starting to become really, really valuable. And then I'm seeing the previous generation where their cars are just tanking in value as they're dying off.
Is this, and I think your answer to me is going to be no. I think that this is the first time that we are seeing this as starkly as what you were talking about. So I think there was a generation that was probably really into pre-war stuff, because you're talking about all post-war muscle cars, 60s, 70s, 80s cars.
Mm-hmm.
When the transition happened from the pre-war stuff to the 60s, 70s muscle cars, or the 50s, even the 50s, shark fin thing, whatever, we were not as connected as a people. So I think the view that you are talking about wasn't as common because people didn't see it online. You've seen it firsthand. You're talking about a lot of firsthand experiences, but I think we can see this stuff happening online. And it's the first time that somebody like me gets to bear witness to someday that will happen to 996 GT3s.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to give a hoot,
mm-hmm.
and they'll be rotting and worthless. Yes. But it's something that I hold at such a high, oh my God, I have to have this.
Right. We're seeing a stark difference between the explosion of values in the cars that we appreciate and the tanking in values of cars that we also don't necessarily care about.
but have always been, oh my God, these are expensive. I'm
Yes.
still amazed. And when we were coming up with our cars you can have for under 25K episode that we did previously, I was amazed at what you could get from like the 60s. Because in my head, I'm like, oh, this is like a $60,000 car. Because I remember
50s, 40s, 30s.
Yeah. Like I remember Barrett Jackson, like all these crazy things propped up by the one of one Hemi Cuda with 3 options or whatever. Like all of that market cooling so significantly. It's wild.
The lesson here, sell your stuff when you're like 65, because that's when everybody else has the money. You got to get the money to have it before you're 65 and then sell it then. Get off the sinking ship, essentially.
This is not financial advice.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's frustrating because I'm the curmudgeon already that's complaining about being priced out about from my dream cars. And I think that cycle is coming way earlier for us because there's so much more money at a younger age for our generation than there was for the boomers. They worked their butts off and at retirement started collecting these cars or later in life.
Yeah.
And they're only seeing this decrease in value as they pass away. And we're seeing that cycle start earlier. And you're right, we're seeing the two kind of clash.
It's a weird kind of clash with how connected and visible our world is, I think.
Yeah. And it's also sad because I'm seeing the people who physically can't enjoy their cars anymore, who still want to, and they're not concerned about the dollar value, but they physically can't get in or out of these cars that they love so much. So, yeah, it's interesting. That's Barn Finds gone philosophical. Props and Flops brought to you by Switchcars.
And as you know, Switchcars is the enthusiast dealership where we buy and sell cars that we like ourselves. Check out our handpicked inventory at switchcars.com and mention Switchcast for some special pricing when available, though.
$900 off.
Yeah.
Deep reference there.
You can, of course, find more information online at switchcars.com, or you can come visit our indoor showroom in Twinsburg, Ohio. Doug, what do we got for the pick of the week?
Pick of the week. I've been driving this car home lately. It's black on black, which is not my favorite color, but I know some people love it. It is a 2011 Aston Martin V8 Vantage Coupe with the desirable 6-speed manual transmission. It is the kind of second generation V8 Vantage with a 4.7 liter V8 and updated electronics and sport suspension package. And man, it is just a joy to drive. These cars are really, really underrated in my opinion in terms of dollar for value for dollar, enjoyment per dollar. They make amazing sounds, fantastically appointed interior. They don't have all the features you want, CarPlay, blah, 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 but who needs it when you have a perfect exhaust note? And
if it was black over black manual. Is not a Dan Doucette color, I don't think so. Not a challenge car for him.
Right. Let's see. The flop of the week. I already knew that the new M5 Touring was fat and heavy. And okay, it's great that BMW is finally bringing a wagon to the States that we've wanted in the past, 8 generations.
Yeah, and this is what we get. This
is what we get, a fat pig. But local BMW dealer Taylor Davis turned me on to this interesting fact. It is so heavy that it qualifies for the accelerated depreciation exemption, which is for work trucks, essentially.
No.
So this is a tax write-off where if you buy a work truck used for company purposes over 6,000 pounds gross vehicle weight rating, which is the curb weight plus the maximum weight of passengers and cargo, if that's over 6,000 pounds, you can write off, I think it's 100% of the vehicle's value in the first year. Now you have to use it exclusively for work purposes and stuff like that. But a BMW Motorsports, M stands for Motorsports, a M5 performance wagon is so freaking heavy that it gets the work truck tax write-off. How about them apples?
My soul Hurt. BMW, when we wanted this car, we wanted the one from like 20 years ago. Not this garbage.
I want an E39 M5 wagon, which they never made.
Well, yeah, I said 20 years ago.
But if they did, they wouldn't have brought it to the U.S.
Podcast audience, you feel the same. This is not the garbage we wanted.
So heavy.
Too late. I'm going to go watch Top Gear and cry.
So heavy.
Because I got all the good stuff.
Prop of the week from the Iron Butt community.
the what?
Vroom old man Pat Cornell took his Indian motorcycle, and his challenge was to ride 125,000 miles in 125 days.
Whoa.
1,000 miles a day for 125 days straight.
Cannonballers be quaking in their boots. That's insane.
My goodness. Right? We have massage seats and crap. This guy's on a motorcycle. Iron butt, maybe iron bowels. He did this for the Myotonic Dystrophy Foundation. This was a charity ride. Tyler, what is myotonic dystrophy?
Myotonic dystrophy is a type of muscular dystrophy. So really where your muscles get very weak and you can't control them as well. There's a lot of specifics that I'm not going to try to really get into, but it is a very, very terrible disease. Weakness of the voluntary muscles, inability to relax muscles at will, difficult to let go of someone's hand after shaking it, for example.
I don't mean to make light of this, but if I rode that much on a bicycle, I don't think I would be able to let go of the grips.
I do think
there's a lot of parallels to what he was doing with this with myotonic dystrophy. Maybe that's why he did it. Anyway, so he has completed it. He did it.
Hooray! Look at that. Insane. His butt's got to be aching.
Right. One of the comments I just read said, no friggin' way a Harley could do this without a top-end rebuild, a new trans, and a few dozen belts. It's accurate. That's accurate. So props to Pat Cornell. Really, really amazing thing that you did for charity. Whether or not it was for charity, that is awesome. But massive, massive props to you on that one.
The Sheffield brand was recently revived by Jake Turkbus, an owner of an original Sheffield all-sport diver he received from his parents in 1970 when he was just 11, beginning his love of watches. As an adult, Jay used his extensive expertise in product development and marketing to revive the brand that started it all. He set out to develop watches with a high level of quality and specification at a value price. His first effort, and a successful one, on July of 2023, was the debut of the Sheffield All-Sport Diver 1. It had the kind of build and movement that much more expensive watches use, and his debut price of $108 was equivalent to the $13 his parents paid in 1970. Since that debut, Sheffield has expanded to a wider range of automatics and chronos, many designed around vintage Sheffield dials of the 60s. The Sheffield well of clever and unique design remains his inspiration, as well as maintaining the goal of high quality, very affordable range of automatic and quartz watches. Sheffield watches, value on merit, not just price. I love mine, so get yours at sheffieldwatches.com and be sure to mention you found them on Switchcast.
Thank you for joining us for Switchcast with Doug Tabbitt and Tyler Sanders, produced by Ethan Huffnagel. Switchcast is an automotive entertainment and opinion show, and nothing we say should be taken very seriously. We do not give tax, investment, legal, emotional, or professional advice, and the only licenses we hold are driver's licenses. The opinions expressed on this show are exclusively held by the people pontificating at that moment and do not reflect the values of our producers or sponsors. Our theme music is provided by Emily and Ivory. You can stream their full album on Spotify or SoundCloud. If you like this show, you can stream it in its entirety on your favorite audio podcast platform. Check out switchcast.live for more info.